All right, I was minding my business, y'all, scrolling the internet, and then I came across this video of this woman who claims to be happily divorced and wants to give advice to other women who may be married currently or might be looking into getting married. Now, I think this is some of the worst advice that has ever come across, who's ever gotten my attention. I think it's terrible advice. I think no one should listen to it. And I'm going to preface by saying all of that because we're just going to watch this just to be able to enjoy and see how bad this advice is. Because this is the advice. And you can see it in her face. You can hear it in the things that she's saying. I mean, there's zero accountability coming across her place at all. And you can just see that this is the advice of a person who's miserable. And as they've always said years ago, and the saying is still going to apply right now, misery loves company. And I just wish that people do not provide this type of misery, the company that it is so aching and begging for. This woman is recently divorced, and here is her thoughts on it and her advice for other people. Sit back. It's a little lengthy. Let's get into this.
Number one, who he is now is who he's going to be even after you guys get married, and there is a great chance that he's going to become an even worse version of who he is now. There is no magic that happens once you guys leave the ceremony. There is no magic that happens after you leave your honeymoon. You are still very much the same people you were before those events take place. The second thing is, don't believe in the exception to the rule story. I totally understand that you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, or you saw the TikTok or the YouTube video of a woman who accepted something toxic or ignored something that's normally a red flag in a man, and now they've lived happily ever after, and they have 2.5 kids, and they've been married since 1998. It's either one of three things. Either one, they really did turn out fine and everything actually did turn out great. But actually, it's more than likely going to be one of the two other things. The first one being she's lying, and she needs you to believe that she made a good decision because she so desperately needs to believe that she made a good decision because she's realized over the years that she didn't make a good decision. Or three, it's a situation where they just kind of are existing together. Nobody's going to file for divorce because she's at least happy to be married and he's benefiting from the relationship in some way, so they're just kind of existing together. If you overlook or accept something that is unhealthy or is a red flag, there is a high, very high chance that it will not turn out well for you. If you are blessed with a red flag being handed to you on a silver platter, acknowledge it and run in the other direction. Third,
Now, before we keep this going, as I said, because you can already tell and you can hear the anger and just the frustration and just there's just nothing positive. Like, I get it if you want to give advice. There's typically some good things to say, but it's like she's just going to continue on this rant of just nothing but just negative things to say about marriage and about men and things of that nature. But let me tell you this for people who might have already seen this and people who are seeing this now and you're considering getting in a relationship and stuff. This is her bad experience that she had with one man. That's her bad experience, and she's tying it to everyone's experience. And even her examples are, well, I know people are going to say, well, I know someone that it actually worked out. And she's like, well, actually, it probably isn't that. It's like, it's this negativity. It's like you have to be negative about it because her situation sucked. Let's just be honest, because her situation sucked. And because she lost in a situation, now she's wanting everyone and every woman to think that no man can change. And no, that's operating from fear. Do not ever get into a relationship on the operation of fear. Because with Jesus Christ, man, everything is possible. I've been married 5 years. And in year 5, I can confidently say, I am not the same man that I was in year 2. Nowhere close. I've gotten way better. Now, I wasn't some terrible Joe Blow in year 2 now. Let me straighten that out. But still, over year 1, 2, 3, and 4, here in year 5 now, approaching year 6, I can say I am a better man. And things have definitely changed. And there were some bad things in year 1 and year 2 that I possessed. some bad characteristic traits, some bad behaviors that I no longer have. So don't operate in fear. Don't operate in fear. But what I will agree with, before we keep this going, if you really are given a red flag, like she said, and it's a visible red flag, take it. Take it. Like they used to always say, if a person shows you and they're showing you who they really are, believe them. Believe them. Let's keep this going.
Is the worst financial decision that a woman can make is to be financially dependent on a man. I get it. There's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom. Some of you might have to be because of this crazy economy that we live in. But what I need you to do is, before you get married, get paperwork, get a prenup in place, that if the crap hits the fan and things don't work out, he will have to continue to pay the bills for you for X amount of time, so that you are not out on the street or scrambling before you go on maternity leave or become a stay-at-home mom. I need you to have money saved up. I also need you to be honest with yourself and know when it is time for you to go back to work. I don't want you scrambling and selling weight loss shakes because you guys have to figure out a way to make ends meet. In a perfect world, we could all stay home with our babies. I feel like it's important to have that bonding time with your child in their formative years, but unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world. And when the bills start piling up, your loving, supporting husband who wanted you to be a stay-at-home wife might not be so nice after a while. Sometimes a little bit of power goes to people's heads, and he might start acting differently towards you because he feels like, since he makes the money, he controls the money. You got to think about what happens if he becomes laid off or something financially catastrophic happens.
This is just, like I'm saying, this is just a bunch of negativity. It's 100% negativity, and she's operating from fear. And that's why a lot of women don't want to get married, and a lot of relationships end up being the way that they are, because it's just, you need to protect yourself. You need to protect yourself. Okay, well, what if the man was like protecting himself and hiding a bunch of things away? And not saying some men don't, that they aren't doing it, because I know some men are out here actually doing that, but it's like, all of it is wrong, man. You can't put yourself and come into this situation already trying to protect yourself. You're already acting in division, and that's what the devil wants, is division. If you come in already being that, divisive, if you will, there's no wonder that within a matter of time, it's just going to crumble down, because you were already divided. A house divided cannot stand. It will fall. Let's keep this going, man. This is just sad. This is sad. And like I told you guys in the preface, the worst advice I've ever heard. Let's keep this going.
Take you up a little bit. We do not live in a Disney movie, okay, guys? This is the real world. I need you to put yourself and your children in a situation to where no matter what happens, you are going to be okay. If you don't care about yourself, fine, don't care about yourself. But at least make sure that your kids are going to be okay at all times.
She's trying to act like she's so genuine, trying to come off genuine, but I can see straight past it and realize that she's teaching division. She's teaching a woman to get into a marriage with a man and make sure you're protected just in case things go bad. And I know people say, well, yeah, you need to do that. You can't be so, everything's going to be good. Like she said, we don't live in a fairy tale world. I get that. But you know what? Like I said, I've been married for a couple of years, and yeah, there's ups and downs. That's every single marriage. That's every single relationship. And for people who try to act like it's not them, I'm going to apply what the Bible says. You're trying to say you ain't without sin. You're trying to say you perfect. You're a liar, and the truth ain't in you. You're the devil. But the reality of it is, we all fall. We all make mistakes. We all fall short of the glory. It just is what it is. So when you think about that, it's like she's pushing this, like really pushing this, trying to be genuine, but you're not, because you're pushing people to already be segregated, never even being able to put themselves in a position to trust. In the times of up and downs, pray. Where is she even talking about prayer? This is why relationships fall. Because marriage is a covenant created between the two people and God. But people are getting into relationships for their own selfish desires. So just like this person here, when your own selfish desires are not being fulfilled from the own selfish reason that you got into the situationship, the relationship or marriage on your own, then you want to leave. And then you have negative things to say and you put a negative connotation on the institution of marriage. But it has nothing to do with that, because not every, bro, people are out here chilling, bro. Me and my wife, like I said, we've been married years and we're out here chilling. We're having a great time. We ain't dealing with none of this mess, because this isn't for everyone. There's proof in the pudding that this isn't the real deal. But this, I can say it from being on the side of we chilling. And we've come through some tough times, but we're chilling, bro. We're having a great time. We love each other. We enjoy our lives. We enjoy every day together. It's an amazing life, bro. We don't deal with none of this stuff. No one has to hide this, hide this. What if you do? What if you do? No, because we have an understanding, and I have an understanding as a man of God that divorce is not an option. It is not an option. And we are one. So I'm not against myself. So why would I be against you? We're one. If we have a problem, we need to address the problem. We don't need to be addressing each other. We are okay. We are one. We will always be fine. There is no end to this. And that's the fact that people have to realize, and people don't realize that. So they get in, as she's trying to teach people to already be on the defense. Then they get in, and what happens is once they're in there, they're already playing from the defense. They're never connecting in. They're already looking for their escape route, and they're never fully trusting in the relationship. They're never fully trusting in the partner. This is negative stuff to be offering somebody to join into a relationship. This is terrible. Let's keep this going. Let's see what else she has to offer.
Number 4, it's not working on the relationship if you're the only one that's doing the working. You're the only one that's crying, begging, pleading, praying, seeing a therapist, looking up articles, watching TikTok videos, Googling things, having grace, being patient. It's not work if you're the only person that is doing it. It is a one-sided relationship and you are being taken advantage of. Number 5, do not turn your back on your friends. My friends over the years who have had the most happy, healthy relationships are the ones who still made time and hung out and talked to their friends. If you adopt this attitude of I'm married, I can't hang out with single women anymore, or my husband is all I need, those are the famous last words of a relationship that is doomed to fail. People love to say that we need community as an argument as to why relationships are absolutely necessary, but no, that statement just simply needs we need people. You don't need romantic relationships to survive. If you and your husband fall apart, you will need your girls to come and lift you up and support you. There might just be times when you need to bitch and complain about something that might not be that serious, and you need your girls there to talk to, things that they would only be able to relate to. If all you
And that's the problem with that. And shout out to all the married women out there and women in general who just don't deface their partners. Same with men, because there are men that just get out and get with men and all they do is just talk bad on their wife. So shout out to men and women who don't just go out in public around their friends deface. This is terrible. Yes, as a married person, typically you have no business hanging with single people. Now, I don't just mean single people in general. Like, I'm a married man. I have a friend of mine from college. He's a single man, and he's always told me and anyone who knows him he will be a single man just well up into his 30s. So I've known, and I've been married for years. But his character and his mindset, his attitude, his behavior, his maturity, his intelligence is at that of a level of which I can have that in my life as a married man. But you're just weighing the intent and the motives of the person, because there are going to be those people where it's like, bro, I can't have you in my life because you literally are just the polar opposite of what I am going towards right now. And I don't want that influence around my children. I don't want that influence around my wife. I don't want it around me. It's different. So what's your influence? But what she's saying here, kind of taken it out of context a little bit, but yeah, I would say that you got to look at what is the single person and judge it that way. Should I be in a situation or in an active relationship with this type of a person, because is it going to be detrimental to my relationship? I know people like to get together and just badmouth each other's partners and stuff like that. You don't need to. This is why I say people need God. You need to go and you sit down and you talk to God. And if you really have a problem, you have to get to a point where you learn in your relationship, both of you guys, that you communicate effectively. And I need to be able to tell you, I don't need to hit up my girlfriend. I don't need to hit up my boys. I don't need to hit up any of that stuff to go and vent to them, because they can't tell me anything. They can't do anything. And like she said, well, they'll understand me. They'll understand. People are looking for understanding. And sometimes that understanding and that validation will keep us in our own wrongdoings. Because one thing's for sure is what I'm noticing. She has this long list, 10 things here of negative things to say about a man and how a woman needs to protect herself from her husband, already putting this fear in people. And she's not once said anything about a woman of how she could have contributed to her happily divorcement. Let's keep this going, man. It's just food for thought. It's just, I really think that a lot of these mindsets are really corrupting the minds of our young women and corrupting the minds of, futures to come and generations to come, and just making it harder for people to get married and stay in strong, stable families, building strong homes with strong kids. Because it's no doubt, I'm going to tell you and keep it honest, man, kids, they come out a lot better with two-parent homes, bro, with a nice, good, solid foundation. Solid. They come out better. There's better structure. There's advantages to it, I'm telling you. Because there's some major disadvantages for people who come out of homes that don't have that structure, that didn't have that structure. Let's keep this going.
God is your man. What happens if he decides to walk away? What happens if that relationship doesn't work out? What happens if something, God forbid, happens to him? Then what? Number 6, keep taking care of yourself. The number one thing that I hear from women when they email me at the end of their relationship is, I cannot believe I let myself go. I can't believe I stopped taking care of my skin. I can't believe I stopped taking care of my hair. I can't believe I gave up on myself, because we think that once we get a man, that's pretty much it. I've accomplished the goal. If you're only taking care of yourself to get a man, you're taking care of yourself for the wrong reasons, honey. Take care of yourself for you. Take care of yourself to be an example to your children of how confident they should feel and how they should invest in who they are as people. Number 7, you are not a maid, chef, therapist, personal assistant. Be mindful of the things that he says he loves about you. Be mindful of how he treats you in that relationship. If you find out that it's a situation where you're just cooking and cleaning and running his errands for him and getting the gifts for his parents and doing all the things for him, congratulations, honey. He is with you because you are doing things for him, not because you're an amazing person, which you are, but he is fully 100% benefiting from this relationship, and that is why he is with you. I have heard
That doesn't make sense to me. Because I think men and women, you get with someone to benefit, whether it's like I'm benefiting from the looks that I like, the sexual activity that we get to have. I'm benefiting from the friendship. I'm benefiting from the fact that you're maybe a great artist, and maybe you over here, you're a great, worker, and, you're a great provider, and there's benefits to it, bro. Like, we don't get into a relationship to not have benefits. So who you are as a person is a benefit to the person that likes you. That's why they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. For someone else, that might not work, but for the person that's right for you, it will. So let me help you dissect what she's saying, once again, in a wrong way, causing fear and just putting this disgusting connotation to it. But I help you to understand that you just have to communicate that. So there is nothing wrong for the women who look after their men, who serve their men, who do this, who run the errands, go here, do that, picking out the kids, all that stuff like she's saying. There's nothing wrong with it. If that is something that you don't like, she needs to explain that. Hey, I love you. I have no issue with you. It's no problem, but I think that the things that I'm doing and the energy and me as a person, I think that it would be best for me to apply all this energy and vigor that I have in another area. Could we maybe find it something else, another way, another route to kind of get the gifts for your parents? Or, I don't really want to run the errand. I want to do something else. If that's not really who you are, you're not a person that wants to, get up and go out and go here and do that. If you're not that way, that's okay. That's okay. But you have to communicate that. Now, if that person is going to be one of two things, they're either going to be accepting of it and say, that's totally fine. Let's find another way. Thank you for communicating that to me, because I wouldn't want you to be involved in something. I wouldn't want you doing something on a daily basis that you don't enjoy. But most people don't communicate. They just assume, and then they get so frustrated and they get so tired of it and so fed up before they just blow up and they start making permanent decisions off of temporary feelings. Let's keep this going.
So many women say, well, my boyfriend proposed to me. Now I need to learn how to cook. Why? You need to continue being just exactly who you are. Cooking, cleaning, and taking care of a home is not wifely duties. That's shit that adults do. Adults, male, female, they, them.
Now, I agree with her on that. That is things that adults do, because myself, I am, a husband that I will help with cleaning here and there. I enjoy that. I'm not a person that's just not clean. I'm a clean man. So cleaning dishes and wiping a counter and cleaning up after myself, cleaning a bathroom, cleaning a toilet, I don't mind doing that. Mopping the floor, I can do that. So I'll agree with that. It just ties into the thing of, what do you like to do? If you're a wife, if you're a woman, and you're like, look, I'm not a great cook. I agree with that. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm married now, so I need to learn how to cook. No, just make sure that while you guys were dating, before you got to the altar to say your I do's, make sure that he understood completely that you do not cook. And it's not like, oh, I don't cook as in like I'll cook but my food's not good. No, 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 no. I do not wish to ever put ingredients inside of a pan or a pot and put it over a stove, stir and mix, and serve it to you on a plate. You have to be able to be honest with that. But what the problem is that a lot of people are gaslighting and lying to people during the dating process. So once you get too far deep in and you're already 6, 7, 8, 1, 2 years into the relationship, you start dealing with these problems. But it's like, buddy, all you guys did was just lie and not be 100% honest from the beginning. Because if you would have been honest from the beginning, one of two things: they would have understood and you guys would have already been on the same page, one accord, going through with it, and everything would have been good. Or they would have said, well, this has been fun, this has been great, but I think we should go on to our separate ways because we are looking for two different things. See, people are trying to put a wrong and a right, but there is no wrong or right. If you want to be in the kitchen and you want to be serving and you want to, be a stay-at-home mom, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to be in the workforce and you want to work a full-time job and you don't want to be at home and you want to put your kids in daycare and you want to put them in private school or whatever the case may be, there's nothing wrong with that. Who are you? Be honest about it, express that to others, and let them make their decision. And be happy with it. Because the only thing you can be is you. Let's keep this going.
Everybody, not just you, because you're a woman. Number 9, do not stay for the kids. I remember being a child begging my mom to leave my dad, and we were so much more happy when she finally did. You are not doing your kids any favors by staying in a situation where you are not happy, because newsflash, kids are smart. They can tell when things are not right. They can tell when there's tension. They notice when you guys are avoiding each other. They can hear you guys when you think that they can't, when you guys are arguing. Trust me, your kids want you to be happy more than they want you to simply be married. And if by chance they are upset that the relationship is ending because they want mommy and daddy to stay together, that's fine. That's understandable. But sometimes things don't happen that we want to happen. Things don't always go your way. And if you're not happy, it's okay to walk away from that situation. And you're teaching your kids that, and you're teaching them boundaries, and you're teaching them how they should be treated and how they should act in a relationship if things go bad. Which leads me to the next thing. It is okay to end it, okay? It's okay. Divorce has such a bad stigma around it. Divorce does not mean you failed. You know what failing is? Staying in a relationship that's dead, staying in a relationship that is causing you trauma and pain. That is failure. But success is making a plan to get out of those situations, leaving those situations, and being able to start over and stand on your own 2 feet if it means you being happy again. Number 10, and the last one, you will inherit whatever their financial status is. If they're broke, you're going to inherit a man that you're going to have to take care of financially, and you're going to inherit all his debts and all the bill collectors calling. If he's well off financially, you will benefit from that. If he's middle class, then you guys will benefit from whatever financial situation he is in, good, okay, bad, you will inherit that situation. It's not going to magically go away. Dual incomes does not necessarily mean more money. Now there's going to be two of you using the lights. Now there's going to be two of you eating the food. Now there's going to be two of you using the car if you only have one car. And if you have two cars, now there's two car notes and two insurance payments and two cars to put gas in. This is a bonus. Instead of listening to my list and telling me how it's not going to be you because you do this and you do that and you do this and you do that, I need you to actually listen to me and accept the fact that it very well could end up being you. And now I need you to put a plan in place on how you are going to protect yourself, how you are always going to come out okay. There's nothing wrong with falling in love. Marriage, all that stuff can be beautiful with the right person, but I need you to be smart. There's a famous quote that says, "The folly of youth is thinking that what happens to others will never happen to us." Here are 10 things.
It's true, but yeah, like I said, man, I think that it was a lot of fear. I think she's responding in a lot of fear. And that's just, and a lot of people do that to people. But it's like, look, work out your own issues, work out your own problems, keep your relationships private. Another thing, too. People in this generation are just way too public about their relationships. I know more about strangers' marriages than I do about marriages in my own family. Because I grew up in a generation where marriages were so sacred, you couldn't even walk into someone's marital bedroom. It was a sign of disrespect to just enter someone's marital bedroom. It was that sacred. But it's like now people's stuff is all over the internet. Their whole relationships. And people just project their own issues from their own experiences. And they think it has to be that way for everyone. Do not operate in fear. God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of love and a sound mind. So do not operate in fear. That's the fastest way to get to destruction. I know she's saying the fastest way to get there is by not having some secret service plan in place so that way you're good in the midst of it all. Operate in faith. Faith over fear. Not fear over faith. That's all I got for you guys on this, man. I appreciate you guys staying all the way if you have. To the next one. I'm out.